great because then I will actually go back and listen to stuff, and sometimes I'll kind of cringe, like, maybe this wasn't as good as I thought it was. You know what I mean? I mean, as far as my approach to making music, like, I mean, the Roots have one of the most craziest psychograph of supporters. Like, I've never seen a group of people kind of like us for a lot of weird reasons, you know. Most of them being like, you know, I like you because whoever is popular at the moment, so pick anywhere in that 20-year period, like, first came out was gangster rap. Like, I like you guys because you're not Snoop. Right? I like you because you're not whoever rapper of the moment is. You guys aren't DMX. You know, one time Jay-Z was the Antichrist. You know what I mean? Right. You guys aren't Jay-Z, so I like you guys. Which, I don't know, this is kind of like the backwards way of picking the girl in high school because she looks good. You know what I mean? Like, I know the backwards compliment's in there, but it's still, that doesn't necessarily make me feel cool about it. Like, I'd never, we'd never set, you know, our vision to be like, well, you know, we're just going to be pure instrumentation and that's it. You know, because at the end of the day, pretty much anyone that follows me on the internet, whatever social media I'm on, like, I'm one of the biggest Prince experts breathing. And that's a guy who, like, embraced technology to the hilt, you know what I mean? So, we didn't set out to just, to be anti-technology. We just used whatever was convenient, which sort of, that's like the pen that just takes the air out the balloon for people's fantasies, like this whole romantic vision of us like just preserving analog. Like, I never did that Lenny Kravitz approach to, like, you know, like, I think his second album, he purchased the Beatles' White Album soundboard and had it preserved, like, they about to throw it away in the trash, and like, I've never had that fantasy. I mean, I appreciate it and I've utilized it, but you know, I've done stuff on Pro Tools, I've programmed stuff. We sampled ourselves. Like, our entire Illadelph Half-Life album was us having jam sessions in the day and then listening to those tapes and then sampling ourselves. Like, okay, let's make a hip-hop record, like, and we'll be the source material for it. But, you know, it was never, you know, a purposeful mission to just be all analog with no digital.
Right. So you mentioned sampling. So I know you're a big fan of the Bomb Squad.
Absolutely.
You know, they made some of the greatest albums ever in hip-hop, and probably in 30, 40, 50 years will remain the greatest ones. Public Enemy, of course. So, you know, sampling technology, you know, it seems like, so now with all this sophisticated equipment that's out, right, you know, where do you know, how do you feel about what's happening currently in the sampling-based technology world in hip-hop compared to back then? When
how do I feel about blah, 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 blah?
Well, no, not that. You know, it just seems like they were working with so little technologically back then, yet we're able to make such an incredible impact and have had such incredible influence.
It's funny you mention that. I don't know if, well, this year I started teaching at NYU. Mostly, sorry, I'll try not to, no, I'm trying not to do that.
He's not trying to get you signed up for
that humble bragging, whatever, toot my own horn thing. But I chose, it was the perception of the Bomb Squad to an NPR intern. NPR had their interns like review the idea of a canon being you know, sort of like an established set of rules of art and music, and you just accept, you know, when someone tells you Picasso's a genius, you just accept it without debate. Like, okay, well, this is Picasso, so I'm to know that. And, you know, there's other people in the canon. Miles Davis, obvious things. Muhammad Ali could be in that canon, you know, the canon of genius. And so with certain albums, you know, it's like, well, how does that translate throughout the times? And so NPR does something very interesting where they have their interns review established classics. You know, one intern will review, or in some classics that aren't necessarily established, like let's take Richard and Linda Thompson's "Shoot Out the Lights."
Yeah.
So, you know, that's an album that's been a declared classic, but, you know, might be sort of under the radar. So one particular week, they gave "It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back" by Public Enemy to a 19-year-old intern who absolutely panned that record. And, you know, this is, he's like, you know, I'm a rap fan, you know, I think Drake has one of the hottest albums out, and he panned it. And of course, everyone browbeat this person to death. And I was about to jump on that bandwagon of that, and then I realized, like, oh, okay, this is my fault, because, you know, I could just assume that, you know, once a great ripple of that magnitude, that album, hits the water and the ripples, you know, I just think that'll last for a lifetime, and I have no responsibility to teach the obvious. And I think that a lot of people that live through the classic era feel as though, well, it's just a given that a song like Top Billin' should be classic, or it's a given that Rakim is God, or it's a given that, you know, Straight Outta Compton or NWA is one of the greatest supergroups ever. Like, it's a given, but in this case, it's not a given. And so I spent, someone read my response to the guy, and I just talked to him and said, like, you know, I blame myself for your position, because, you know, I can have all this knowledge, but if I don't share it, then there's a problem. So a year later, NYU approaches me about teaching, and I decided to, like, me and Harry Wagner, the head of Universal's catalog reissue department, he and I teach this class together, and we decided to take 9 canon albums and sort of observe their impact and test them on our students. So Nation of Millions was one of them, and one of the coolest things about that record is that because it's a product of Universal, we have the Pro Tools. And, you know, the students who observed the record, sight unseen, you know, they had the same feelings as the NPR student. Like, oh, well, this is what my parents used to listen to. It's okay. It's, you know, it's no Skrillex. Like, he makes better noise music. You know, but that is up for debate. And so I guess my whole point is that, yeah, technically, I feel as though, from a technical standpoint, yes, music does sound better. I mean, is it engineered better? I mean, yeah, Skrillex is just as loud and in that sort of insane bomb squad type of way. I mean, but will it stand the test of time? That remains to be seen. I think that for this particular millennial generation, or post-generation Y, there's so much information out there that the idea of, like, things standing the test of time, like, yeah, that idea might be lost. Like, for me, Generation X, which I guess is like, what, 65 to 82, we didn't have that many options, so, you know, the idea of something standing the test of time means something.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's just, ADD culture. So,
Yeah.
um,
You know, it's interesting. I have a 16-year-old, and we have these rap conversations about rap all the time. And he'll be like, "You got to hear this Trinity James. He like follows all these blogs. He loves Rap Genius. You know, he's everywhere. And every day he comes to me with somebody new, and I'm like, well, here's one record. You should just listen to this record." And I'm trying to think like, my wife calls me a snob. You know, it's just like, you know, you just
We're all
stop
snobs,
being a
yeah.
snob. All right, we know.